In 1964, the top players in the NBA struck the All-Star game minutes before it aired, winning union recognition of the NBPA and changing pro sports forever. Today, the WNBPA is ready to strike for the first time, demanding to be paid what they're worth.
That is the WNBA CBA negotiations with the WNBPA, which is full of people who are compromised because they have deals with competitor leagues.
Look at the timeline. Listen to the rhetoric. They are actually doing it. By invoking the 1964 NBA strike, the WNBPA isn't just making a statement, they are declaring a total war on the very fans who saved this league. But don't let the mainstream media gaslight you into thinking this is some noble pursuit for housing rights or basic health standards. That is the lie they are feeding the public to keep you from seeing the real corruption happening behind closed doors. They want you distracted by one-bedroom apartments and studio rentals for developmental players. They want you arguing over marginal concessions, while they treat the greatest financial engine in the history of women's sports like a temporary intern. The reality is undeniable. While the league is playing house, they are actively gatekeeping the billions in gross revenue that CaitlinClark brought to the table. Look at the numbers and tell me the math isn't personal. From the second the Indiana Fever tipped off that rookie season, the old guard and their media mouthpieces at ESPN were already drafting the obituary of the new era. They weaponized that 1-8 start, using every missed shot and every turnover as a blunt instrument to bury CaitlinClark before she even had a chance to breathe. It was a coordinated effort to suppress the leverage of a generational talent, but the receipts show a very different reality. While the gatekeepers were busy rooting for her failure, Clark was busy single-handedly dragging this league into a billion-dollar reality. We are talking about a $16 million endorsement year and record-breaking TV deals that the league office didn't even see coming. The Clark effect didn't just break the glass ceiling, it shattered the entire foundation of how the WNBA operates. This is a total nightmare for the league office because for the first time in 30 years, the players have actual, undeniable leverage that Adam Silver and Kathy Engelbert never intended for them to have. They wanted control. What they got was a financial supernova they can't contain. The establishment is in a state of pure panic because the hero they tried to bury is now the only reason the lights are still on. And the footage from the front lines proves that the tension is no longer just a rumor.
So, ultimately, the players in this league, these are those middle-of-the-pack players who seem to be getting left out in thought by the veterans, the Nneka Ogwumike's, the Breanna Stewarts, the Nafisa Colliers, who are all compromised but also can afford a lockout. These players, majority of these players in Athletes Unlimited cannot afford a WNBA lockout.
The gatekeepers are hoping you don't understand the difference between gross and net, because that's where the real scam is hidden. The mainstream narrative is pushing this idea that a 70% share of net revenue is a win for the players, but when you pull back the curtain, the receipts expose a calculated financial heist. By pushing net revenue, the league is essentially telling the athletes they only get a slice of what's left after the front office pays for its own private jets, 5-star hotels, and corporate overhead. They are inflating their operating expenses to shrink the pot before a single player gets a dime. The math is staggering. The union is demanding a 30% share of the gross, the total pie before the league starts creative accounting, but the establishment is refusing to even cross the 15% threshold of total league revenue. We are witnessing a billion-dollar war where the league office is terrified of true transparency. They know the Clark effect has created a financial supernova, and they are doing everything in their power to make sure that wealth stays in the hands of the owners. It is a classic case of corporate gaslighting. They call it a partnership while they gatekeep the very profits these women are generating. They want you to focus on the marginal salary cap increases, but the real money is being siphoned off before the players even see the balance sheet. And if you think the league's offer is bad, wait until you see how the players are actually starting to turn on each other.
That is the WNBA CBA negotiations with the WNBPA, which is full of people who are compromised because they have deals with competitor leagues.
The myth of a united front has officially been exposed. While the elite voices at the top of the union are busy playing high-stakes chicken with the league office, the reality on the ground is reaching a breaking point. We are witnessing a total fracture within the WNBPA, where the superstars who can afford a lockout are making gambles with the lives of the players who can't. The elite veterans are comfortably insulated by their off-season deals and endorsement bags, but for the middle class of this league, the situation has turned into a pure nightmare. The receipts are coming in from every corner of the globe. You have rookies like Deja Kelly and veteran imports from the Australian League openly admitting that they are terrified. They aren't fighting for a 30% revenue share, they are fighting to make sure they actually have a job to show up to in May. While the leadership rants about non-negotiables, the rank-and-file players are watching their bank accounts and wondering if they'll be able to pay rent by the time the owners decide to stop running out the clock. It is the ultimate act of hypocrisy. The superstars claim to be fighting for the future of the game, but they are doing it by sacrificing the present of their own teammates. This isn't a coordinated strategy, it's a civil war. The elite are using the most vulnerable players in the league as human shields in a financial standoff they've already won for themselves. The establishment is watching this internal collapse with a smile, knowing that a house divided cannot stand against the corporate machine. This is where the mask completely slips, and the hypocrisy becomes too loud to ignore. How can the very people at the head of the negotiating table claim they are fighting for the survival of the WNBA when they are building their own lifeboats on the side? We are witnessing a massive conflict of interest that should have every fan and every middle-class player in this league questioning who is actually in charge. Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier aren't just players anymore, they are owners of a competing league. The logic is twisted. Collier is out here explicitly using unrivaled as a benchmark to tell the world the WNBA is failing, while Stewart is virtually attending meetings to decide the fate of a league she is actively disrupting. It is a total nightmare scenario. They are holding the entire WNBA season hostage, pushing for non-negotiables that they know will break the bank, all while their own private league pays out six-figure checks for 3 weeks of work. They want you to believe this is about the players, but it's actually about their own private equity. They are gatekeeping the future of the WNBA to protect the leverage of their own business interests. It is pure gaslighting. They are telling the rank and file to prepare for a strike, to prepare to lose their paychecks, while they sit on the boards of a competitor that benefits if the WNBA falters. The hypocrisy is absolute. They are burning down the house just so they can sell you the insurance. Amid the noise, the ego, and the backroom betrayal, there is one person who remains completely unbothered by the circus. While the union leadership is busy planning strikes and managing their side hustles, CaitlinClark is doing exactly what the old guard feared most, she is evolving. The contrast is jarring. You have a veteran class that is obsessed with the bag and the status, and then you have the literal face of the league, the woman responsible for the very revenue they're fighting over, quietly putting in work in an empty gym. The footage coming out of Indianapolis isn't about politics, it's about performance. Clark isn't on social media ranting about non-negotiables. She's at the Fever's practice facility, lacing up her newest Nike Kobe 6 PEs, and looking more locked in than we've ever seen her. After a 2025 season plagued by soft tissue injuries, the new era hero has reverted back to the lean, fast, and lethal frame that made her a legend at Iowa. She's shedding the unnecessary muscle that slowed her down and returning to the skinny Caitlin form that critics can't keep up with. While the old guard is screaming for attention, Clark is gaining it through silence. She's showing the world that true leverage doesn't come from a picket line, it comes from being the only person in the room who is irreplaceable. The establishment is in a state of pure panic because they realize their strike threats mean nothing if the fans only care about the one person who is still ready to hoop. The backlash is swift, and for the WNBPA leadership, it is an absolute catastrophe.
I think it would definitely put pressure on the league side, but I don't think it would make the same sort of impact like we're talking about here with the NBA in 1964. In this video also, if you watch it till the very end, they're basically saying like this is the moment for the players to strike, like be brave and essentially do it. I don't know how it would go over. I truly don't. I think the sides need to continue to keep talking.
The public is no longer buying the oppressed athlete narrative, especially when the receipts show a league that is finally profitable because of a player the union establishment spent all year trying to alienate. If you look at the social media fallout, the sentiment is clear. The fans are officially siding with the new era over the picket line. People aren't just annoyed, they are in a state of pure frustration. The common thread across every platform is a sense of betrayal. Fans are calling out the timing of this threatened strike at the NBA All-Star Weekend as a desperate, attention-seeking move that does nothing but hurt the momentum of the game. They see the million-dollar salaries being offered and they see the studio apartments being rejected, and the word being used most is entitlement. The new era of fans, the ones who actually move the needle on ticket sales and TV ratings, don't have any loyalty to the veterans who targeted CaitlinClark all season. There is a growing chorus of voices saying the same thing: if the old guard wants to walk out, let them. The demand for the rookie class and the new wave, like Paige Bueckers and CaitlinClark, is so high that the public is practically begging the league to pull the trigger on the nuclear option. The gatekeepers thought they were the stars of the show, but the fallout reveals a nightmare reality for the union. The audience isn't here for the drama, they are here for the players who actually want to play. The clock has officially run out. We are standing at the edge of a cliff, and the old guard is about to find out exactly what happens when you try to stall a movement you can no longer control. Here is the prediction that the mainstream media is too terrified to make: the 2026 WNBA season will be delayed. There is no other mathematical reality. With training camp supposed to open in mid-April and the CBA still frozen in a billionaire standoff, the league has effectively sabotaged its own 30th anniversary tip-off. The organizational failure is absolute. Toronto and Portland have head coaches and front offices, but they have zero players because the league is too dysfunctional to even set the rules for an expansion draft. This isn't just a negotiation glitch, it is a full-scale meltdown. We are looking at a nightmare scenario where free agency becomes a disaster, the hype of the Paige Bueckers draft is strangled by red tape, and the casual fans who were brought in by the Clark effect start looking for the exit. But here is the final receipt: if the union chooses the nuclear option of a strike, the league has a nuclear option of its own. They have the next gen ready to go. They have the stars the people actually want to see. The establishment thinks they are holding the cards, but the fans have already made their choice. The new era is here, whether the gatekeepers are ready or not. Subscribe to Hoop Receipts to stay ahead of the collapse. We aren't just watching history, we're exposing it.